One. Yes, here we are. We are live. Hey everyone, I'm Jordan. And I'm with the Gossamer Coast folks talking about Hinterlight. Um, currently on Backer Kit. And we're gonna, or sorry, Kickstarter. Uh, it's crowdfunding. Get it
Yeah,
on. And so yeah, I'm doing this cheesy intro stream. And let's just tell everybody about yourselves and about company and about the game.
absolutely. I'm Tyler. I am the lead designer for Gossamer Coast, and I am the project lead for Hinterlight, which is a collaborative world building game in a gothic fairy empire that you play by casting the ritual of your character's resurrection.
Super
I
cool.
can introduce myself a little. So I'm Kelsey. I'm one of the other designer people. We're here representing Gossamer Coast, which is the name that we do our like writing and tabletop role playing and some comics and other stuff under. We also have a third person who's part of Gossamer Coast who couldn't make it tonight, but that's Robbie A. Burns, who does the illustration for all of our books, and they're really talented, and they're on Blue Sky and Instagram at Robbie A. Burns.
Yeah, it's really cool. Um, yeah, let's just get right into it. So tell me a little bit on how Hinterlight got started. What was the spark?
Yeah, absolutely. This game had an incredibly convoluted design cycle, which is kind of the norm for us. But a lot of our things, we find out kind of what they are through the process of making them. And so, what it began life as was a single player sort of GM tool to build a court of fairies, and that was going to be a trifold that we were going to release for the first game face, so 2 years ago. And then we made that. It expanded into a short zine, which we sold at Game Face, and then we're like, let's sit down and try to flesh this out into the final form of what it's going to be. Through playing it, we discovered it is a lot more fun to do all of the things based around that as a collaborative experience with your friends, where you're playing off of each other's ideas. And from there, we just iterated and iterated and iterated until we got to this kind of insane idea of like the game as a spell you are casting because all your characters are already dead. But that has the steps to get there took most of this time to just figure out what this thing was, sit with it and talk with it and draft it. And now that we know what it is, we're very close to having this thing polished, obviously, because we've already got it on Kickstarter. So the process is pretty much there now, thankfully. Thank goodness.
Yeah, and I think like just to add on a little bit to that, this is this isn't our first game that we've ever made, but it is our biggest, and I think that we've gotten to lean on a lot of support from the tabletop role playing community, and that's been really wonderful. A lot of people being down to play test it and give us advice, and even just the kind of general advice of like, yeah, play test early and often has like really helped shape this in a lot of ways. And we've been working with Plus One EXP. I'm wearing their hat. They're our publisher, and the whole crew there has been so supportive and helpful in helping us like narrow in on this game and really making it like the best that it can possibly be.
That's awesome. Yeah. So you were talking about like there was a long time where it was just kind of like this thing. What was like this? Was it just like I don't know
Very
what it
nebulous, yeah.
is. Yeah,
Well,
just
Yeah,
nebulous
I think
cloud.
that like a lot of it has like the core mechanics have been pretty consistent throughout. Like the parts of the Gothic Fey world that you're building and the deck of cards and the tables with which you're doing that, that's actually not changed that much. Like the biggest thing
Mm,
that's changed is what is the framing for using those things. So like at one point the framing was like you're reading the journal of an adventurer who went exploring in like the Fey otherworld and but made it back, and so
mm,
you're learning how they did that to make your own Fey otherworld. And so it's a lot of like your relationship and like how much there should be characters interacting with it, is kind of the biggest things that have been like we've been fiddling with.
we knew it was we hit on the fact that we kind of wanted it to be a ritual pretty quickly because cards very ritualistic. I do remember for a long time we were trying to make it work that the framing was you are casting a spell to remember a place you haven't been to yet, which was a fun idea, but no one really grokked what that meant or how they
mm,
should be like how that would feel as a thing. Whereas still quite complicated casting a spell to remember where you died because you're a dead guy and all your memories left you when you died is
mm.
it's already complicated enough without there being like forward memory involved.
Yeah. Um, yeah, so it's card based. Have you thought about like tarot versus a regular deck of cards?
We
Or yeah.
considered tarot. Obviously, that's the vibiest possibility. The cards themselves are dope, and it like does half of the work for you. And it would have given an opportunity to have Robbie draw a bunch of cool tarot cards. But we sort of leaned in the direction of like you can buy a deck of normal cards at a gas station for 50 cents if you need to. Like tarot decks are a little bit harder to get your hands on and are less likely to just be laying around wherever you're at. So the thing that was a little bit more accessible ended up the direction we went with.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Also, like Robbie and I were talking about it this morning because we were looking at some of the games that do use tarot. They're all very cool. But one of the things that Robbie brought up was tarot already has a lot of meanings associated with it,
Mm,
and a standard deck of playing cards doesn't as much, and so it puts a little bit more on like the book and the players to create that meaning.
mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then it also like allows you to be more flexible with the meaning of the cards as well.
Yeah, boy does it.
Yeah, because like if you're just using tarot, you're like battling like preconceived like what these usually mean.
Yeah, we very much have ideas about like what the suits mean in this game, and they aren't the same things that like the tarot deck suits mean, nor would any
Mm,
of the like major arcana necessarily match up with what we'd want those to be. So yeah, it's a little bit easier to foist our own vibes onto the kind of blank canvas of a normal deck of cards.
right. Yeah, yeah, yeah. So what was your like big like aha moment, like thing that clicked where you're just like, "Oh, this needs to be this is what this is."
So I think it literally was like a point in time where we were trying yeah, like the mechanic of like getting two cards to give you two pieces of information and reconciling those things at once, and we were all doing it together, and it just I couldn't tell you what the exact example was, but it'd be something where I had given an example, and then Robbie was like, "Ooh, yeah, that, but instead this," and we're like, "That's what the game is. The game is being able to like play off of each other's ideas and go like, yeah, that thing that you said sparked the thing in my mind that makes it feel like this is a memory that has come into my head or whatever, and I know what the truth
Mm,
is because of what you said."
Yeah, I think I might give a slightly different example. I think one of the aha moments for me was we were play testing kind of like a middle-ish version with Tony Vicinda from Plus One EXP
Mm.
at his coffee shop. And it was one of our first versions with you having a character that you made that has connections to the other characters. And this was a while ago, and I don't remember exactly the details, but there's something about in Tony's past he had like a sibling who had a whistle and that had a lot of like sentimental meaning to him. And once we all fell into the Fey otherworld and our bodies started to unravel, um, one of the things that happened was like I set up a trap to try to protect our supplies, and Robbie's character like was sleepwalking or something and triggered the trap, and it like snapped off one of their fingers. And then the next day, Tony's character, because of the way the Fey Forest was making us hallucinate, took Robbie's character's finger and thought it was his brother's whistle and started whistling with it. And it was so macabre and gruesome, but like poetic and like funny. And like I was like, oh, this game is so fun when you have characters links to each other that get to interact with each other and like lose their minds in this like Fey other world, and like bringing that character fullness into it was like very good.
Yeah, it's where like the gothic really sort of started to come into its own in more than just an aesthetic sense, where it was like, yeah, your pasts are going to come back here and haunt you in a specific kind of gruesome but also funny way, like ludicrously gloomy, is the tagline we use for the vibe.
Yeah, that sounds great. Like connecting. Um, so the connecting the characters to each other really just like it, I think there's a mechanic, right? Or just like it's mainly story based.
There is certainly a place of play where it is like, all right, what we're gonna do now is like figure out how our characters are connected to each other, and those are things that uh, will deepen and evolve over the course of playing the ritual, and then hopefully even more so if you take it forward into campaign play. That's like these are like levers for you to use in gameplay.
Mm,
This is the way that we know each other. This is the lens through which we see our relationship with each other, sort of thing.
nice. Yeah, so um what was a challenge that you've had that has nagged you?
Kelsey, you want to take that one? I feel like Kelsey's most aware of all of the little the problems that follow this.
I was actually so curious to hear what you were gonna say. I would say one of our like most reoccurring challenges is how much discussion should there be and how much should we try to be prompting that? Because like so there are places in the casting the ritual and like the which the ritual is the game. You flip cards and you get information from tables, and so Tyler's, the lead designer and writer, and the things that Tyler writes on the tables are incredible and artistic and don't have obvious meanings. And so there were times in playtesting where we're sitting there watching people play and we're like, why did they just move on from that? Like they don't all know what that means. It doesn't mean anything until you make it mean something.
That's a word I
Um,
made up and no one talks about.
yeah. And especially there was like one playthrough where they got to this part where they were making the Fae in, the big manor castle place. And one of the steps in making a Fae is that they get titles. And all these titles are grand and like, I don't want to say meaningless because that's like so mean. But yeah, like they're just like made up. They're words that put together and they mean a lot of different things depending how you want them to mean. And I'm sure we could give examples. And so, yeah, figuring out how much do we want people to be discussing things and like coming to like digging into stuff and coming to like agreement on it before they move on, but like
Mm,
like and then we kind of went a little too far into that, I think, in some of our playtesting. We were like, oh, it felt too
Prescriptive.
like too many steps in a process. And so
right.
trying to find that middle ground to like you dive into things and it's cool and there's discussion, but it's not overly like process step, broken up. Does that make sense?
Right. Yeah, that makes sense. So it's like you don't want to linger too much on one idea. You want to just move on to the next kind of
Like
situation.
like that, and trying to figure out like which things you're uncovering warrant prompting questions and big discussion versus which ones is it okay just to get some information and move on from it, and maybe it lingers in your head and influences things, but maybe it didn't need its own robust discussion around.
Mm, yeah. And so is that more mechanically driven to give that kind of in between thing, or is it more just like
So that
vibes?
was kind of the problem, I would say, almost, is that the more strictly and mechanically we tried to build in like robust discussion, the more people got resistant or confused. And so sort of trying to naturalize that play space as much as possible has been sort of the has wound up being the target for that sort of thing. Is like, talk
Mm,
about this as much as you want to, and like here is a very naturalized instruction about for like when it's time to move on. Similarly, my answer, by the way, Kelsey, if you are still curious, is that trying to find ways to make people care about the meanings behind cards is a thing that was a huge problem, and we solved it because the answer is don't do that. They don't care. They're not going to care about the suits of the cards. We can prescribe them meaning, but like they're not going to care.
oh, like instilling the fact of what each suit
Yeah,
means.
yeah. So that's something that we spent a lot of time figuring out, specifically both one of the robust things that we wrote about quite a bit and spent a lot of time tweaking the tables to was like each of the suits has their own vibes, and also like had the tables ordered from like ace to joker, like that was its own spectrum of I think it was primal to sovereign. So vibesing more like wild and vibesing more like nobility, because that's sort of one of the balances in the game. And all that stuff is just going to remain in the game basically unspoken, because trying to give them the information and make them care was only confusing, I would say.
Mm, I gotcha. So, what is your favorite part about Hinterlight?
Ooh.
Could just be a table like entry. If you're just like, no one's really gonna care, but this it makes me smile.
I think my biggest like grand thing about I have like a big thing and then like a little thing. And like my big thing would be that I think in a lot of role playing games, by definition, you're trying to like make cool moves and like stay alive and like, be this like badass hero. And in Hinterlight, you are dead. Like that is the truth of the beginning of the game. And so the whole story becomes this gruesome, like wonderful tale of your death. And it's a lot of like artistic freedom to get to craft that story. And it's one you don't often get to tell in a role playing game. My favorite little thing is that we put in a small reference to a Carly Cosgrove song. And that makes which is like a very like not It's like a DIY punk band
They're a
that's like local
local
to
Philly band,
Philly,
yeah.
Nice.
and oh, it's probably gonna be in the GM
It'll be
prep
in the guide
section.
section. Yeah,
Yeah,
there's a table of the kept beasts you could find in Rhyme, and the like the two Joker options are Fabergé egg and Matryoshka sloth.
sloth. Yeah,
Yeah, or yeah, Fabergé koi. Sorry, and Matryoshka sloth, which is
Wow.
a wink at a Carly Cosgrove lyric that is fun. I think my answer would generally be that my favorite part of gameplay right now is that when you are making uh, fairies like the noble fae, there's like a twinned table where you get two entries at once, and they are both these sort of like evocative phrases that aren't really descriptions of people or places necessarily, and you choose one to apply to the fairy and one to apply to like their domain. And
Mm.
that is, I think, the most the fullest and most like all the way in version of what I want this game to be. Because the way like it's a thing that you're only doing once you've done this sort of combine prompts and talk about it thing a bunch. So we were like, let's throw them into the deep end and just give them the craziest possible examples for what the nature of these fairies could be.
Mm.
So that's definitely my favorite part of gameplay.
Sweet. All right. So speaking of gameplay, why don't we just transition to playing a little session?
Yeah, absolutely. I'd love to.
Sweet. I got the quick start pulled up here, but for people listening, you can download it for free.
Yes, yeah.
Um,
Plus one exp.com.
plus1exp.com. And it's really cool. Yeah, let's somebody walk me through it. Walk us through it.
yeah. I got some virtual tools pulled up. I think it would be helpful if you also had like a scratch piece of paper or like note card, and something to write with, which I realize I don't have, and I'll improvise. It'll be great. I am in a really cluttered room, and I picked the best corner to show, but I'm thoroughly trapped here. Um, so I can share my screen and show some of the online tools. So one of our oh, thank you. True kindness. Um, we are roommates, so Tyler just came and handed me stuff. Um,
You ran all the way.
yeah, all the way over.
Whew, you're like really fast.
One of our stretch goals is making online tools available for everyone. Also, these are some that Robbie created. There are even more robust online tools for the full version of the game, which include components to make your own maps, to represent the Gothic Fae world that you're creating. And it's crazy and it's wonderful. And if we hit our first stretch goal within the next week, they will be available for everyone.
Wow.
But yeah, to start with, we make some characters. Oh, sorry, Tyler, do you want to read the intro text?
I can. Let's see here.
Yeah, get us in the mood.
Whoa. Be welcome, honored guests. Your company is requested for a night of light amusement and a chance to live again. You are lost lights, all that remains of some poor fools who stumbled into our world and met their petty ends here. Your souls were doomed, or so it seemed, to wander restless and aimless through our dim-lit forest until time itself expired. But this not need be so. Fate has smiled on you at last. Your corpses had the magnificent fortune to fall into our clutches. We brought you to the court of rhyme, the house where we once ruled, and we just so happen to possess the power and desire to set your hearts back to beating. All that we require is a story in return. Whoa, it's a fairy.
Boom,
There
boom,
you
boom,
go.
boom.
So that's what we'll be doing. We'll be telling some fairy the story of how we died.
I wish I had like a harpsichord. I think that would go really well.
Yeah, yeah, very
Playing like
harpsichord
Bach
worthy.
or something.
Yeah. Oh, looky there. There's our guy.
Yeah, to give some vibes, this is the character that we imagine doing a lot of the grunt work of the Fae.
Mhm.
Um,
Collecting our bodies and bringing them to a table to prepare for the spell, etc., etc.
yeah, and then this is kind of the vibe we have for who we are.
That's where,
Um,
yeah.
yeah, and yeah, Robbie put all of this together, and this is all Robbie's art, and um, they're very sad they can't be here. I wanted to see if they had, yeah. So to kind of get us going, I wanted to share a little bit about the guiding principles of this game. So throughout the game, we're gonna get a lot of prompts, and one of the core tenets we try to tell people is embrace challenge. The prompts may feel weird, or as we said earlier, maybe a little meaningless. And it's for us to give them meaning and figure out how they work together. And so try to not ignore things that feel difficult. And one of the other ones is build dangerously. One of the things that we really love is like, this is a gothic fae otherworld. Anything can happen. And so, if something comes into your mind and you're like, that can't happen, it probably can here. Um, Oh, and then I guess maybe just a good one to go over or double check on is safety tools. This is a list of things that might come up in play. We do have a safety tool that we use, which is called Hold and Onward. So I'll give us a moment in just a second to talk about like if there's any content that any of us would rather not have come up, or if it comes up to treat it delicately. But if during play something happens and you realize, oh, I do actually feel some kind of way about this, our mechanic is to say hold, and we'll go ahead and pause our gameplay. We'll figure out what edits or maybe backtracking need to happen for everyone to feel comfortable. And then if we were in person, the way that we move forward is we all put our hand over the play space and say together onward. And I'm sure we can figure out how to say something together over video call. um, but looking at this content, any that anyone has any flags around?
I wrote this shit, so like I'm good.
Past coming back to embrace you.
Grand,
I mean, yeah, no, that's all fine.
Okay.
grand.
Cool. Yeah, and then if anything, even if it's like something comes up later and you're like, I don't want this on my Twitch channel, you can let us know when we get there.
Oh my gosh, you should see. I played what was it called? Mork Soul.
Oh, nice.
With Matt, and wow, I had the most gruesome death. And that did not win, but it was really cool.
Nice, nice.
Yeah.
All right,
So
well,
I guess this is like the opposite of gruesome life.
Yeah, yeah. No matter how gruesome your death is, you'll come back. It'll be fine. It'll be great.
yeah. We'll see if we can get you an even more gruesome death.
Great.
Okay,
Excited.
cool. So we're gonna start by making our characters. We start with the song. Oh, sorry. So the game is broken up into songs. And in the full version of the game, there's some refrains in between them that prompt you to fill in some of the gaps of what's happened um, to your character and to your body. We're playing an abridged version, the quick start that we mentioned earlier. Oh my god, isn't it pretty? Robbie's art, yay.
So pretty.
And so for this one, there aren't the refrains, but there still are the songs. Um, Tyler, do you want to kick us off with the first one?
Sure. So the first psalm is the Psalm of Vacant Flesh. Um,
Mm.
the hymn opens quietly, a simple summons, a gathering of lost lights. So in the first psalm, all we do is we're going to learn about who our characters were in the time before we came to the fairies' haunted forest and how we knew each other. And we'll end by learning how we wound up here. So the first thing that we do is everyone gets a card to learn their look and their manner. The way that your manner is the way you comported yourself when you were alive, and the other is the look you chose to present to the world. So Kels, do you want to give one of us a card? Oh yeah, we need. Yeah, there we go. We got some
I brought
physical
a
cards.
physical deck.
Oh
I
dang.
got excited, but yeah, we could do the digital one.
Well, hey.
That is totally fine. Look at us using technology.
Dang. Okay, so Jordan, you got an ace of clubs.
Oh
That
boy.
means, first off,
I
uh,
won. Did I win?
you get the words true and hard. So you choose one of those to describe the way that you look, and the other is going to describe the way that you are. Which would you like to be which?
Wait, the other describes the way I am.
Yeah, so you either look true and sort of are hard, or you look hard but are true in your nature.
True and hard. Hmm. I like the idea that I look very like intense and kind of grave. Um and then my um I guess true is just like I just speak what though it seems I'm speaking freely or frivolously, they're all like true statements that I believe,
Yeah, that's great.
I don't know.
And because your card is a club, you're going to tell us the worst moment of your life and the scrap of luck you took away with you.
um Worst moment of my life. What is the time period we're in?
So the vague vibes that we suggest for Interlight are somewhere between medieval and Victorian, powder and lace kind of energy, something very sort of Victorian Gothic, uh, a world where you can have some early gunpowder sort of energy is sort of the vague time period. But also we can sort of fiddle with that. It's pretty um, flexible to other ideas.
Okay. um the worst moment of my life was seeing my family perish from the plague,
Okay, yeah.
and then the scrap of luck I took with me is not dying from it.
Yeah, that's cool. Could there be like some sort of physical manifestation of that truth in some way?
I have let's see, horse reins, you know, because
Yeah.
I'm just going off of the knowledge I know of the Black Plague. So like they didn't go into the horse stables. So if you
Oh,
stayed in
sure.
the stables, you didn't get because that's the rats don't go in there. So
Okay, so yeah, you were like you had something to do it going on in the stables, and so you had
yeah,
like
so
some tackle.
horse. Yeah.
That's cool. And then the final question to start off your character is, what made your darkest day worth living? So it's a pretty rough one, like losing your family, but maybe it opened up some previous impossibility to you.
Well, it kind of gave me the mindset of like nothing else could be as bad.
Sure, yeah.
So it made it so that's kind of like what made me like the kind of solemn hardness that I have is just like knowing that like mainly just unfazed.
Right, yeah. Why bother lying when yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, great. All right, Kelsey, you want to give either me or you a card? And a three of diamonds. That means that I am either decent and vile or vile and decent. Um, you know what? I think that I look decent and I am vile because that's got to be the more fun way to play that one. So because I got a diamond, that means that I'm going to tell us where I grew up and the particular talent I fostered in my misspent youth. A decent looking, vile person uh, pushes me kind of in the direction of um, like a dandy that is able to leech off well-meaning rich people. That's sort of the vibes that I'm getting there. So I think that yeah, like I the skill that I fostered was sort of the savoir faire and etiquette required to breezily operate in high social spaces. And the last question I ask is, why is this single skill all I've kept of home? And I think that tells me that um, yeah, I think it just tells me that the group of people that I had sort of ingratiated myself to and had been living a life of comfort off of sort of cottoned on to my shitty ways and ousted me. So I had to try to find a new group of highfalutin dudes to sucker on to. Okay. So Kelsey, you have an eight of hearts. That means that you are gentle and cruel. Which is which?
I think I look gentle and I am cruel.
Beautiful, beautiful. Very similar. Let's see here. So, because you are hearts, that means you're going to tell us who raised you. and the worthless heirloom they passed down.
Hmm. I think I was raised by the people who do like the people who work in like a butchery,
Mm,
because I think that would lead to someone being kind of cruel. It's very hard work.
sure,
Um
yeah.
and worthless heirloom. The handle from like my parents, what would you call it?
The ancestral cleaver.
Yeah, but the blade broke off. It's just the handle.
Sure, sure, yeah. One shoulder joint too many and it snaps.
Yeah.
I love that. So now all that each of us knows a bit about our youth. In the full game on the character sheet, we would have a little shadow of a guy that we would fill in. And so this first one is that you alter your effigy to represent the lingering effect of your past has retained on you. So if I had my little guy in front of me, I guess that I would probably put like a ruffed collar on a shirt on one of the arms with like a couple of
Mm.
cards poking out of it that I have like stuck up my sleeve so I can cheat rich dudes out of uh, their weekly allowance.
I think I would draw like an apron with some like blood splatter on it.
Great.
I think I would draw um some kind of simple like I want to say a leather vest holding like a rope, you know,
Mm, yeah, something
like for I don't know, horse.
animal husbandry related. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
cool. That's great. So yeah, now that we all have a good idea of the first little thought on our characters, we then reveal two cards to connect each of us to each other, and they're called links. Um, so yeah, we combine one of each to the players on either side to find out the links that bound us together. So Kelsey, you want to pick one of us to figure out a link?
Yeah, I got some cards down. Between you two, we get a five of hearts and a king of clubs.
Five
Oh.
heart clubs. Okay, that means that Jordan, the two of us were cordial rivals in happier days. So how do you think that sort of what does that imply about us? I feel like we came from very disparate backgrounds, or perhaps not. Like maybe I sort of snuck my way into higher society. But what do you think? Like what was our common
Horse betting?
horse betting? Yeah, that's kind of fun. Yeah, that's very good actually. Perhaps like in the quite long ago, like we both like raced
like
the
wait, are we supposed to be we're rivals?
but cordial. Like we weren't like
Oh,
true
okay.
foes. You know, we were
I feel
both. You
like
know,
because I was taking care of the horses, so I could have been
sure.
like whispering to you, it's like, hey, maybe do this or
Mm.
whatever.
Or maybe we each had a horse that we would race, and we put up a public front that we were like very against each other, but in earnesty we were both sort of like playing the two sides.
Mm.
There wasn't really yeah, we were building a secret monopoly on the horse betting.
This is my conspiracy of what the cheesesteak places in Philly, Pat and
Yes,
Gino's
they're
are
really on the
doing.
same side. They're working together. Yeah, I like that. I think that's a good enough place to start. Kelsey, wanna pop up the next set of links?
Ooh, double diamonds.
Double diamonds. So wait, who's that? You and me?
Yeah.
You and me. So we uh are chafing at a petty and unpaid debt. Hmm.
I hate to suggest it, but did you need me to put down a horse?
Some disposal duties. Some sort of. Oh man. Like I think there's maybe like not only that I need you to put a horse down, I need you to make a horse disappear.
Uh,
Something where a horse had to go away and never be found for some
very
reason.
like horse mafia
Yeah,
stuff.
exactly.
Yeah.
And I did not pay you yet for those services. Like I sort of is that how you broke your knife? A little more fucking worse.
Try to put down a horse.
Yeah, wasn't made for a horse.
Sick.
Also, I guess we'll maybe find out if I actually killed the horse for you.
That's true, yeah. It's
And
possible. Certainly possible.
I made it go away. We don't know how yet. Okay. And then the last one. So because this one is also clubs and hearts, it's the same as the link that you two had. So cordial rivals and happier days. And so though it's kind of fun because like were we rivals about the same thing, or do we think it's a rivalry about a different thing?
She may have been part of the conspiracy, or hell could have had a different thing going on.
Mm.
The butcher and the horse breeder.
Um, what could we rival on?
We could have been in love with the same person.
Yeah. We're sort of not in love with them, but vying for, you know.
Sure. Yeah.
Cool.
But who is this lover? That's the question. Could it be the horse race announcer? I don't know. I'm trying to tie everything.
If you want to get like one too many knots going on, perhaps it was like one of the dandies I've been scamming. Perhaps I introduced. Yeah, y'all both got sort of. I brought them to the track one day.
We were so taken.
Yeah.
A couple low class fellas.
Yeah. Charming, but bad with their money for sure. It's at least enough for us to be getting on with. We can, of course, leave some things open. We don't need to lock anything in at this point, but it's enough for us to know how we feel about each other. So the last thing we do before this next to last thing that we do before we move on is we alter our effigy again to represent the manner of your relationship with the other lost lights. So I think I would probably just have some betting tickets poking out of one of my pockets from our very complicated horse racing scheme.
I think there'd be like a single rose out of my back pocket.
Not yet. Didn't get a chance to give it away.
Yeah.
I was also gonna say flower.
To him,
yeah, a different flower.
A different flower.
Roses are so passe, Kelsey. What
You could put it in your hair to be like less like Be like, oh no, this was for me.
I wasn't gonna give. Yeah. So
This?
the last thing that we do before we move on to leaving behind the world we were born to is we give ourselves monikers. Our names, sadly, are a thing of the past. We may again find a new and better fitting name if we distinguish ourselves in the service of the noble Fae. For now, though, we must have something to call you. Choose a moniker, a mask to wear as you tell your tale. And the monikers in Hennerlight are always be something the blank. We try to go for something that's got a metaphorical connection to the vibe of your character. Um, I think, by way of example, that my guy is probably the Gilded Leech.
Oh.
I'm trying to think of something a little bit less literal than the butcher.
Sure, sure.
I think mine's gonna be like the rope.
The rope. The rope is yeah, yeah. Oh,
It's kind of morbid sounding, but
yeah, it's got a certain quality to it. So something less literal than the butcher.
the knife,
The empty knife.
the empty knife,
I love it. I'll lock it in.
Boom.
the invisible knife.
It'll also make me stop just auto playing the song about the butcher from Over the Garden Wall.
Great. Kelsey, would you like to lead us in the second psalm?
Absolutely. So we've been playing with a slightly different mechanic than the one that's actually in the quick start that I would love to use here.
Sure.
So kind of going back to one of the things Tyler mentioned earlier is people haven't been just so enamored with having a hand of cards with different suits that mean different things. And so we've kind of gotten rid of people having hands of cards. And so that's kind of the big difference. I'm going to recall and shuffle all of these cards, and we're going to be playing from like a communal deck. The first thing that we get is our keystone, which is the thematic anchor of the world that we're going to be building. And so anytime that we're feeling a little bit lost, we can always come back to this and see if it helps spark any ideas. Ours is a Queen of Clubs.
Ooh.
Which means our keystone is order.
A forest of order.
The next thing we do with that is figure out the gate. So the gate is a pure manifestation of fairy in our world. Just as the keystone is going to define the Fey forest, it's also going to define the door that brought us to this Fey otherworld. So we're going to use the keystone to describe the shape of the path between the two worlds. Because this is a club, we get a little more prompting. So we know that we were like all wrapped up in some horse business.
Seems like that probably went bad is the main thing.
It probably went
horsing
bad.
around.
We were horsing around.
And then the plague swept through our town. Is another
And then the plague. We were minding our own business, doing life stuff, and then plague.
And who's to say whether or not that's my fault that the plague swept through our town?
Oh.
So something and we can define this as much as we want to. As all of this was happening, something brought us together and got us into the Fey world. So we're gonna figure out what that into looked like.
Mhm.
And the question that we get to puzzle over is what subtle evidence of the door's otherworldly manufacture did you overlook? And there are some examples if we want those.
So I definitely am imagining that we all just needed to leave town very quickly when some aspect of our horse racing scheme was revealed. So I very much like the idea that we chose somewhere that we thought would be a good like hidey hole or a way out, and we're in such a rush that we did not really notice the evidence of the danger we were getting ourselves into there. Either y'all have any ideas of the specifics of what that would look like?
Are you saying like we accidentally fell into the Fey world?
That's kind of what I'm imagining. Is yeah, we were just like trying to get out of town and like
I I
oopsie
what
daisy.
about people were chasing after us
Yeah.
and we jumped to hide in the horse hay and that was like the door that we
There
like
was some sort of yeah.
yeah.
So maybe there's something about the hay that if we were looking a little closer, we would have noticed it wasn't
Mm,
right.
yeah. Maybe 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 there was some percentage of it had literally already been spun into gold. There was this
Oh.
straw that was the partially golden thread. Um,
Yeah.
That
Until
does also tie into order really well.
yeah,
yeah.
and something about yeah, taking a natural thing and turning it into a yeah a spoolable thread, kind of like that.
Great. So the door itself locked, of course, as soon as we came through. Many humans have made their way into the Fey forest. Few find a way back. How very human to expect that every path should bring you exactly where you wish. So now we are up in the Fey world and we get to start the world building part of this. So, the first thing that we're going to learn about is the timber. The timber is the host of otherworldly trees that meet us on the other side. And this card will come with me here.
Nice.
Okay, so we get to learn that the trees we get are blazing maple, showing evidence of careful cultivation. Now we get to discuss our dim memories of the trees. How did they appear? What impression did they leave? Did we feel some greater truth peeking out from them?
Mm,
I'm thinking syrups.
syrups, sure, yeah.
Yeah, they're like harvesting the
Yeah, cultivated.
fiery syrups, yeah.
Is spicy or like literally, volcanic magma?
I mean,
Magma.
definitely spicy. I like the idea that there's like flame that kind of like licks off of, like it almost looks like gasoline that pours out of the.
I do dig like iron buckets hanging from trees and it's pouring out as almost like pouring iron slag into like a metal mold or whatever. It's like who the heck is eating this stuff? I do like the image I have of this sort of falling into this world is just like it's like we jumped into a ball pit and the ball pits didn't stop, and then on the other side there is just another like big pile of hay that we finally emerge from,
Right.
and imagining that, and then we are surrounded by this almost it's like a farm, right? It'd be like an
Yeah,
orchard. It's
it's like
kind
an
of nice.
orchard.
Yeah.
Thinking about the hay, it makes me think that like the ground itself is too hot because of this tree situation, that there can't be grass or like normal plants like beneath it. Like it has to be
Mm,
this hay situation lining the floor as some kind of like insulation, and like it probably feels really hot to us.
yeah.
All right. When we are suitably happy with the memories that we have dredged up, we get to add one more unnerving detail. And for us, that will get to be a 4 of hearts.
Oh.
Oh.
You want to read that one?
Yeah. So these trees that are being harvested for syrup also smell of fresh meat.
No.
Kind of gross. Um,
Meat trees.
God, I shudder to wonder why. I feel like it's got to be like
It's
the
growing
food that.
over the graveyard.
Oh, okay, yeah. Like it's like it's
So the
cooking.
roots are
Cooking with yeah.
feasting off of the dead.
Oh, that's vile.
I'm trying to figure out if my character would feel like my past is haunting me, or if I just
Oh
like,
yeah.
or if I just like wouldn't notice the smell the way like you don't notice
No.
like the way that your house smells, but like other
Yeah,
people do.
you just feel a vague sense of comfort for some reason.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
like
Oh, that's good.
typical meat
So
fields.
now we get to learn a little bit more about our first moments here in the Dwell, which is the world of the fairy. Um, so we get to now craft the tale of the trouble that followed us here.
Mm. So that is interesting.
A loan shark?
Yeah, yeah. I'm like like yeah. Finding like what is the perfect singular figure to represent the trouble that chased us away? Is it a loan shark or is it like a thief taker?
Something else that comes to mind for me is like part of our past being, for whatever reason we had to get rid of a horse. I'm wondering if like the skeleton of that horse emerges from this graveyard.
Which, yeah, that the metaphorical one would be that the bodies that are being sort of cooked in these trees are just all horses. It's a horse graveyard. Which this is, yeah, this is like a horse. This is the horse graveyard. Where everyone buries the
Oh
horse.
yeah, as we crawl out of the hay, it's just like the skeletons chewing on the hay pile around us.
Yeah, yes, yeah. There's something very haunted to the idea that the forest that at least metaphorically exists within the stable in our town is a place full of like the ghosts of horses, basically
Yeah. I
a
think
physical manifestation of dead
as
horses.
as we crawl out, all the horses like stop and stare at us.
Oh sure, yeah, they're all expectantly.
Yeah.
They're ready for their brushing.
Oh boy. Do we want to get a little bit more into what affected our bodies here, or put a pin in that and keep going?
I certainly like I. Hmm. I can imagine the gilded leech trying to interact with the syrup in some way, trying to find a profit in it, and accidentally hurting themselves. It's got to kind of act like napalm, surely. Mhm. Maybe a horse like spooks me and I just like burn my hand.
Mm.
That's a little flame. Boom. My hand's on fire.
Um, I want to say, like, I tried to calm one of the horses, but just get like
Oh.
kicked in the chest, kind of. Or this isn't supposed to be a crazy. Maybe just like they bray and stuff, so they
Yeah,
like
I mean,
scratch.
yeah. Who knows? Maybe a dead horse's kick doesn't have quite as much oomph to it.
Yeah, their leg crumbles and it just
Yeah, it
knocks me
hurts you,
over.
and then the hoof just crumbles into dust,
Yeah.
basically. Ugh.
I think being a butcher, the trees like smelling of meat drew me in.
Mm-hmm.
And I think when I went to investigate, I touched the trees because I was like, it's got to be something about like the inside because that's how meat works. And, and
That's how.
I think that made my skin start to like fall off.
Whoa.
Yeah. So just
Yeah,
over the course, I'm gonna lose more and more skin.
Losing some skin.
Yeah.
that like
Hell
leprosy
yeah.
trees.
These trees suck.
Yeah,
What's up?
it's allergies.
All right. So when last the woods gave way to open ground, the Fae expect you thought yourself free from further harm, an unwise hope. We're going to reveal the next card, to recall the bleak territory that challenged our further progress. So as we were maybe trying to back away from these terrible, terrible, what's it called? Horses,
Horse trees.
horse trees.
Horse trees.
We found some new ground. And it is an ashen waste,
Oh, good.
marred with signs of past exploitation.
Yeah, I mean this is all coming together. Yeah, that feels correct.
An ashen waste. Oh, does it like the sap from these trees all kind of pool into a river?
Yeah, I was kind of imagining maybe there's like a space where all the trees have almost been like it's like they've been harvested to the point where the veins have blown out basically, and now there's just like stumps that are gushing this syrup to the point where it's
Mhm.
unmanageable. Yeah, I like it like becoming a river. That's very cool.
Yeah.
I'm wondering
I
if like if we felt like we needed to cross it for some reason, like that we saw something beyond the river that felt like the only place we could go.
I really love the combination that the trees were showing evidence of careful cultivation while this is having signs of past exploitation. Like
Yeah,
it yeah, it makes the timeline of like what and who's happening here very curious.
yeah, yeah. Mm.
I
We
mean,
can get one more card to help us consider.
Yeah, let's get that last little detail.
So clubs. And it is seeping a faint and sickening sweetness.
Hmm.
Yeah, that's what I get for now.
Faint and sickening sweetness. So there, yeah, maybe there's something about this sap that once it like has become this river, it is almost gone off. Um, Still
well, it's all
very
the
like
meat,
yeah,
the meat
yeah,
smell, like decaying meat has that sickly sweet.
sure. The mummy
Not that I
skin.
know that. I just read a lot of horror books. But yeah, I imagine like the skeleton horses are angry with us, so we start running, and then so our idea is to really just cross this river. Um, and we find like one tree like
Felled.
yeah felled across it, and we kind of just like go for it, and then as we run across we get kind of slightly flayed.
Fucked
um
up.
yeah.
Well, so what's our? We could use the suit here to talk about to determine the tenor of our further tragedies as a club, right?
Hmm?
That means that we're recalling the moment our last hope faded, which feels like very much perhaps something horrible happening halfway across this. Maybe the tree just like started to give way halfway across, and it felt like we were just gonna sink into this boiling river.
Mm.
I thinking about like the sickening sweetness. It This is a really silly comparison, but it reminds me of like when I'm painting my nails and I don't notice how intense the smell is, and like I'll open the first bottle of nail polish and I'm like, oh, that smells nice, and I keep going, and after an hour, Robbie and Tyler walk in and go, oh my god.
Yeah.
And the way that like you don't notice that kind of thing like building and like the effect it could have on your mind and your senses. I promise I use nail polish so safely if my parents are watching. But
You just dip your finger into the bottle.
yeah. And then yeah,
Easy. It comes out
yeah.
clean every time.
But it makes me think like maybe like not noticing how much the like fumes of this lake are affecting us and getting into kind of that
Mm,
like dreamlike moment where like as it starts to break, it feels like you need to run away, but you can't move that fast.
Mm.
sure.
And like
Like when yeah,
dealing with that,
everything's
like
been sapped.
yeah.
The haziness. There's like
Yeah.
uh I mean, I personally in real life I deal with allergies, so like dust mite stuff. So like going over my parents' place, they already know this. But like walking over there, like I say walking inside their house, it feels like a thick wall, where it's like a dense like like dust mites, So maybe it's
Yeah.
just like it feels dense in our lungs, like almost as if we're swimming.
Yeah, yeah, I love that.
Can I ask
Actually,
what
yeah.
you're allergic to in your parents' home?
It's just dust mites.
Oh,
Yeah, and, and cats, but I mean,
Sure.
I don't know. I have a cat, so probably just dust mites.
fair enough. So hit with this wall of
The air is thick.
fumes that
Yeah.
yeah
Sweltering. Yeah.
really zapped us, and we do you guys think we fell into the river, or do you think we escaped?
I think we can be in that moment halfway across, moving into the next area. Actually,
Yeah,
I
the
think we
log
can.
feels like forever.
Yeah, I feel like if the like that answer determines the way in which we make it to rhyme to some
Could,
degree.
could I like the idea of like it's a rotted log, so it's still like crumpling
Yeah,
with each step as we and then we kind of hear our own breath within our head.
exactly.
So at this point, we get to mark our effigy to show the precious part of ourselves that was taken away.
Mm. I think I did a little stumble and I was able to keep myself from falling into the terrible river, but all of my hoarded winnings were torn from my little satchel or whatever, and I lost all of this money I've been scrupulously conning out of the rich for the past few years. I'm once again destitute.
Sorry, I'm now hearing our neighbors through the very thin wall singing happy birthday. I think I want to say the flower I was thinking about before. I've been like marinating on this. I want to say it was like a dried flower. I put on like a hair clip,
Mm.
like a barrette kind of thing. And I think
Mm,
that I've been having it in my hair, and I was planning to give it uh to this person that, of course, we're both so enamored with. And I think that it gets snagged on like a branch or something, and it falls out of my hair and into the river and burns up.
the river eats it all.
Yeah.
Um, I think. Well, I was also gonna talk about my flower. So,
Yeah, beat you to it this time. It was a
um,
barrette. We could just say it's a barrette.
um, I feel like to try to get over the smell, I'm gonna try to stick the rose in my
Mm.
face, but it's as I try to take a breath, it like burns and shrivels from like the
It's
fumes that
in
are
the
going
air
on,
ignites this
and
whole.
just like, and then I just like breathe in ash, basically.
Vile.
Yeah, it's not great.
Incredible. All right. In this next part, we get to reveal the grim inhabitants that dwell in the darkest corners of the Fey realm. So we're gonna get some new denizens in addition to the ghost horses.
Yeah, we have these horses. They're not. They're really not. Tombstone.
Whatever. They're
They're
pretty.
bodies.
It is shambling bison, uh, prized as trophies by the noble Fae. Oh,
Oh my
geez.
god.
Oh,
Shambling is interesting.
yeah. Like, does shambling mean like they're dipsy, or they're just move slowly as a herd?
Yeah, I'm kind of almost. I could imagine it being true at least. Like it's almost like these are the big beefy versions of these dead horses. These are the ones that were strong enough even in death to tear themselves away from the trees and sort of become mobile. 'Cause I'm kind of imagining we were able to sort of get away from the horses by getting away from their trees where they were like, that have grown from them. And maybe these are the ones that were strong enough to tear free. Is that interesting?
So they're not bison; they're just more horses.
Like they could be horses that are like beefy enough
Oh, like
to
Clydesdale,
look like bison. Yeah, like some sort of like these guys
chunky, wide
something. Yeah,
horses.
real wide nose.
What what are bison if not big horses?
That's what I'm always saying.
Um, Shambling makes me think of, I don't know why, but it makes me think of them having some kind of like tiling like on their body
Oh,
so that you get this kind of
oh.
like clacking and like
Oh, sure,
rippling.
yeah. I
Ooh,
And
like that. Yeah, some
do
sort of
do
like
they have
weird.
like fey like noble garb? You think?
Ceramic armor. Well, they're prized as
Yeah,
trophies, so
ceramic
maybe like they are
armor.
decorated by the noble fae,
Yeah.
and it's almost like like warhorse regalia. You like put cloth on like a warhorse, so maybe they like decorate them with these like ceramic
the thing
like
that comes to
scale armor.
mind for me is like, what if they naturally have some kind of like tiling ceramic situation, and the like prized game possession thing that the Fae have is like like get a tile, leave a tile kind of thing.
Oh, sure. Yeah, yeah,
And so
Oh.
the more that like a bison has been like
yeah.
captured
Swap.
and
Yeah.
fiddled with as part of this game, the more and more ornate they get to look.
Sure. Like they've always
Oh,
got the
like the
same
various
pattern. Each of their
colors.
tiles are the
Yeah.
same. So if you
Yeah.
get one, put one back, then yeah, you get they start to look different. That's cool.
Interesting. So it's like part of their body. Are these little tiles? Oh.
Growing from them somehow, maybe like
Kind of like
tangled
scales.
in their hair. Or, yeah,
Loose
like
scales kind of thing.
Yeah, I'm thinking like the way like a pangolin looks. Like those are scales, right?
yeah.
I don't know what that is.
Oh, they're really cute.
A peng.
Do I have one?
Is
Hang
it
on.
like a penguin?
It is not. I can. Tyler, are
A,
you grabbing one of the?
Yeah,
a
okay, let's see if I can find it.
pangolin?
We have a pangolin in our one of our previous games. It's a pangolin knight. They're the only mammal with scales. I think that they're native to Africa, I think. They're really cute and their babies like
Oh, yeah,
yawn
yeah.
to their backs.
Yeah.
That guy.
Little guy.
They look like that. They're usually not carrying a spear, but they do look like that.
You know, Tyler, I've never seen one in real life. So I've never seen a pangolin
Could
not
be.
carrying
Yeah.
a spear.
That's fair.
They're really cute. I think that
This
they're like, well, now this is
armadillo
going to
rush.
be me making stuff up. I kind of think I read that they're like blind or maybe have like really low vision or something. Something's going on with their eyes.
I believe it. I do. They're what Sandshrew is based on.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
All
Interesting.
right.
It's cool.
Tails, you want to give us
More
the
you know.
last detail
Yes.
for this fucking pangolin bison?
Now we need to come up with something that's weirder than real life. All right. Our next little detail is they are barbed with poppy milk spines.
Well,
Oh.
that's fucking crazy. So maybe these spines are somewhat integrated into their scales somehow.
Yeah. This is why it's a game. This is what makes it hard.
Yeah, because yeah, if you get stabbed with the poppy milk, then
What is
you're
that
not
dinosaur with the club tail? That's where my brain.
ankylosaur, I believe.
I'm thinking like, yeah, that mixed with a stegosaurus, so they have like the big like plates
Oh,
up top, and then they have the club tail,
I dig that. I'm very into that.
and like the tail can burst for
Yeah,
acid and stuff.
that's fun. I like that. Barbed tail that drugs you.
All right. This next bit is we get to reveal a dire conflict that we faced here. It might be with the bison, it might be with each other, it might be with something different. We don't know yet. But it is also going to be about how our last hope faded.
Hmm.
I mean, tell me how y'all feel about it, but I am like we're on this fucking uh tree that's hanging on by a thread, and there's a very large, very heavy bison. And I'm wondering if perhaps maybe that just sent us down into the river.
I like
Uh,
it.
yeah, it could like whack its tail on the end and just
Yeah,
like
we were
disintegrate
like
the.
it was like it's used to crossing this thing, and we were like trying to get it not to because our extra weight is all that was needed
Oh,
to make this an untenable bridge.
yeah.
Cool.
All right. So as we're glugging in this river, um sorry, just to check on time. There's one last part. Are we good to do that or do we need to wrap up here for time?
Yeah, we got like 30 minutes. I usually
Okay.
give these like an hour and a half to 2 hours.
Cool. Because I was like, you know what? That's not just a terrible ending. Is we all fall into the
We all
river.
die in a river very yeah.
All right. So this last part is that we get to meet a fae. And I'm really excited to see what that
How?
means for us as we're floating in the river. Okay. So we are going to get 2 cards, and that is going to let us pick um, an outpost that this noble fae lives in. Oh, sorry, this once noble fae. They have been kicked out of the manor, like castle. What was the
They're
name?
doing their own thing
They're
now.
doing their own thing, and we get to pick it. Their own thing is that in a vast bivouac or a luminous um manse.
Yeah. Both are interesting to me. I'm like, how do we get out of this river? I think a bivouac, like a camp, makes more sense to me.
You're gonna have to make me Google what these words mean.
That's the Tyler guarantee.
You know what? You'll know you're reading a book that I wrote if there's some dumb, long, old words in there. The bivouac is basically like a camp, like a temporarily built shelter, and a
Okay.
man like a mansion, basically.
Okay. What kind of bivouac was it?
This is a vast bivouac and a luminous
Oh,
dance.
I kind of like the vast bivouac,
I
where
do
it's kind of
too.
like a
Honestly.
tree hut kind of village, you know?
Sure.
I'm down with that. I do just want to offer if we wanted to go with luminous manse, it could be at the bottom of the river we're in.
It could be. It could be a sunken mansion that we will wind
Okay,
up in
that
somehow.
also sounds really cool. It's like we all drown, but for some reason we're not like drowning.
Yeah,
You know?
maybe you can breathe. Maybe despite the fact that it burns, you can breathe this syrup.
And
Or
the
it's just
log.
like sort of slightly emerging from the top of the river, like we get swept downstream and there's like a window that's above the tide line that we can climb into, but the inside is like just barely keeping the river outside at bay. There's some flooded rooms or whatever, but there's places to hide in there.
I'm also thinking about the way that like if you have like a canoe or like some kind of thing like perfectly upside down and just kind of like
Yeah, it holds
Oh,
yeah, that's what I'm
that's
picturing. Like
cool.
that this man's like would be holding air somehow.
I'm down for that. Why is it
okay.
luminous?
It's kind of like an angler fish.
Oh, there's some sort of bioluminescence going on.
Yeah,
Maybe it's like yeah, it's to draw. And maybe it's like a lighthouse basically. A
yeah.
bioluminescent lighthouse to be like this is some important part of the river. Maybe there used to be a bridge here or something. That's kind of cool. Okay, yeah.
Cool.
So the Fae who lives here, they are engaged in an ambitious project. What unexpected toll did they demand of us?
mm. So if there was a bridge here, it is kind of cool if they're just trying to rebuild that. If they're just trying to fucking somehow single-handedly remake a bridge across this big old river.
Hmm. I was when you were saying bridge, I was thinking bridge into the human
Oh, sure,
realm.
yeah.
So like yeah, like a
Secondary gate.
soul bridge,
Oh, bridge. A
soul
rainbow bridge.
bridge, rainbow bridge. Um, unexpected toll though. Um, Glass eye.
Glass eye.
Yeah, I don't know. So they can see.
Hmm.
My first thought was like the name of someone we hold dear.
Hmm. Hmm. Why? Do you have a thought there?
If they're trying to make a bridge into the human world, like getting more.
Connections,
Yeah.
friends. Yeah, that's cool. I'm down for that.
Yeah, that's
They're like trying to something. Someone in this house is trying to create
yeah,
a new
human.
date, and the more
They also
threads we
don't
can
know
build.
human names at all. So
Yeah, yeah,
Um,
that's cool.
so it's a sign of the times that such shabby visitors like us were granted audience, but one mustn't judge too harshly in these later days of dust. So we're gonna get to learn a little bit more about the Fae who lives here.
The noble fairy. We met them. We met this fairy.
Yeah, we are very probably lucky and probably not unlucky.
Probably not fucked.
So this person is like sorry,
oh
slag shine dripping in a still water pool,
oh
and we get to figure out so you mentioned before that's like, oh, we're making you Google words. This is like making my heart stop to be like, am I pronouncing these correctly?
You're doing great.
Thank you. And I'm not nervous at all about this next one.
you know
What? How do I say that, Tyler?
I got
the
you. I got
song.
you. What facade art do they practice within the walls of their domain? There's basically no way to mispronounce it, Kelsey. Fuck the French. They're terrible. Oh man.
Definitely
So
that.
flagshine dripping in a stillwater pool has this sort of like um this image of like a malleable thing becoming sort of uncontrollably set in stone to me, like the idea of like molten metal instantly becoming solid by dripping into water.
Hmm.
So on like a sort of a metaphorical level, something about this guy trying to set something in stone, which is an interesting thing alongside the other that he's trying to make a new gate to the human world.
That's what they're trying to do, or
It
that's what
sounds like that's what they're
they look
trying to
like.
do.
Oh, okay.
So the essence is sort of it can be for some to some degree it could be about their the way they look, but it's also just sort of describing their nature.
Oh, because I was going off of the idea of like you were talking about what they look like, and I kind of like the idea of like they have this iron heart that's kind of like a water pump, and it's like the river flowing in and out of them, and like their body
That's
is actually
100% do that. Yep, that's true.
there, and then their body is just like the currents that spiral in those formations.
That's tight as hell. Yeah.
With that, do you think that it makes me wonder, does this person need to stay in one place because of the way the chords in the river are, or
Mm.
do they have the ability to move throughout their like house?
I think as long as they're in the liquid, they can like move around.
It feels like they couldn't like leave this place though,
Yeah,
right? Like
but
this is like
they must be under the belief that they can.
mm,
Very tragic.
that is, yeah.
Um, and maybe why they are stuck at the bottom of the ocean. The next thing is that we get to learn the name, which I am deeply excited for. And their name Oh wow, the artist is here. That's so great. No, never mind. They're not here.
I have a name that I really want it to be looking at the list because it fits everything.
Tyler, you're on mute.
Nice. Good.
Let's just do that then. Grab it.
Yeah, okay, so it's Madam Strange Ways. They have a glass eye.
The
And
glass
I'm like,
eye.
that is literally I mentioned getting a glass eye.
Yeah, you said a glass eye earlier.
And then
yeah.
Strange Ways is really cool.
Yeah,
All the currents. Yeah.
Madam Strange. Oh yeah, sure, yeah.
I just reading off of what is written.
These are some of the titles that I was like mentioning earlier, where it's like, why were people just moving past these? Because like, I don't know what Third
These
Seal
glass eye.
or Illuminator at Law means.
Yeah. Oh.
High Malingerer.
The High Malingerer in the West. It's, you know, it's a thing.
Yeah.
It's a known thing. Everyone knows what that means.
So now we get to figure out what gloomy fate did they foretell of us.
I like that there's the idea that she is the glass eye. It does make it feel nice that like maybe once we gave her this name and created this thread across worlds, she is able to like see some piece of our future.
Are we thinking that we're leaving this place, or are we just?
I don't think that we're going to be able to leave through the gate that she is.
Yeah.
I don't think that we are going to have.
I think we're stuck here. I think we're gonna drown.
Okay, yeah. We won't leave this river alive. It's a pretty gloomy fate.
Yeah, I don't know.
It does make me think that at some point down here, we are going to run out of like oxygen in the air.
Sure.
Yeah, there's only so much oxygen in this log. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's that. I feel like we know what became of our contact with this crazy person. Do we mark the effigy one more time, right?
Yes, to show how we were forever changed by this encounter with Fey nobility.
Whoa. I actually think that sort of like a spectral thread, like literally manifested, like bound around my wrist, and wherever we go, it seems to be sort of trailing back to the place where she's trying to make this open this gate.
Oh. Yeah, I was kind of thinking a similar thing where like the rope that I had is tied around my foot.
Oh.
So holding me down in place.
That's cool.
I think that they have some way of fashioning part of the water onto the area where I lost skin.
Oh, okay.
And so there's just gonna be, I mean, I say water. That's not right. But like there's gonna be
Whatever
some,
this liquid is.
yeah, some liquid grafted onto my arm forever now.
Wow.
And boy does it hurt constantly.
That seems correct.
So
the last song we have in the quick start doesn't super work with the way that we just did things. So I think that's basically what we can say of it. Like, what do we think? Just like we got done and like the tide came up and we just drowned in this river of sap.
I kind of think that like like we didn't notice that there wasn't oxygen in the air we were breathing anymore.
Oh, like just the next level up from how we were feeling when we were like over the river. It's like this we're being suffocated in this place that is slowly drowning.
Yeah,
And
because I
the
think that this Fae person, because of like the tubes and stuff, it's like a fish. Like it's like it's filtering like
yeah,
whatever they need to breathe from the liquid. But for us, it's
right.
kind of like sorry, this is really weird. It's like when people like turn on their car in like a garage or something, and it's like
Oh, sure,
it's
yeah.
like
Mm,
you're still breathing. There's still air that you're breathing, but like you don't.
But it is killing you.
yeah.
Yeah,
It does feel like there's already somewhat of a sedative effect going on that would probably fuck with our ability to recognize
Yeah.
that we were in danger. Yeah, I dig that. And then yeah, like we just end up expiring, and this Madam Strangeways has what she needs to us, so she just shuffles our bodies along to rhyme because they paid a good price for human corpses. Yeah, so that is the quick version.
Such a happy ending. That was really
I
good.
know. So in the
Uh,
full version of the game, what you would do from here is you would build the castle that your bodies arrived at, tell the story of how you got there, and then
mm,
as you are being resurrected by each of the three fairies that still live within the house, you would learn a bit more about each of them and how you were being sort of bound to their service. And it ends with getting a little hint to the mystery of why the fairies' empire has fallen into decay, and then you sort of come back to life, and that is where you would move into campaign play if you were so inclined. So
oh,
it's not quite the bleakest ending. The quick start is the darkest place you could possibly in the game, which is yeah, and then we all died. The end. But hey,
okay. So for the full game, there's like a full campaign kind of setting.
yeah, so the idea is very much like you've built this world together, and now you can take it forward into play, and the book will have all the tools you need to pretty easy to like quickly and smoothly generate like play like adventure spaces and
Mm,
develop sort of the like the castle that we haven't gotten to yet. The castle that is the next step sort of becomes your home turf area, the hub that you live in. And so
oh,
you've got sort of like courtly intrigue that you're doing there, and then you go out into the dwell, sort of do the bidding of the noble fae, and that's vaguely like you're going off and doing an adventure. And yeah, we're gonna have there's gonna be a together we go hack to give some simple rules if you don't want to try to grab your own system for it, that would work well with Cairn or like trophy gold probably would be a really good thing to use with this.
nice.
so
And
to
yeah,
like
they'll go ahead.
like to give an example of like if we were like to further explore in our world, we might end up like needing to go catch one of these bison and figure out how to switch do the tile game on behalf of like the Lord of
Mm,
Rhyme.
Or they need to try to convince Madame Strangeways to abandon her house and come live in Rhyme.
that's cool. Yeah.
Yeah. And so in the full version of the game, there's a little bit more building out of the dwell, and so that you get just like the tip of the iceberg of more places you might go back and adventure.
Yeah, and sort of there's tools like for example you'd like take this weird glowing drowned house that we've imagined, and there's like yeah you'd have tools to expand that and to help you build that out into a robust space that you can sort of explore on a more granular level in the future. So we've sort of like set up some interesting questions about how this lady's weird drowned house works, and you could explore that in the future play.
Plumbing's terrible.
Yeah, no, it's not going to be good, whatever.
No, this is great. Wow, this was really cool. Yeah, that definitely gets me excited to like explore this world that we have just created and
Yeah,
stuff.
that's great. It's the goal. That's the goal is to make the world make you go, I want to know more about everything we just decided.
And one of the things that we're also really excited about is another one of our stretch goals for the campaign is we have some people who have agreed to be like guest authors and create more adventuring spaces. And so if you're like, yeah, we thought of some cool things in our world, but I want to like put those on hold for a second and just grab one that's ready made. We have like Charlie Ferguson Avery from Feral Indie Studios who's agreed to be like a guest author. We have like Jade Dragon, and so if we hit those stretch goals, we can have some set adventuring spaces that people can plug and play.
Sweet. It's exciting. Yeah.
Yeah.
So the Kickstarter's up. You want to give a
More
little
days.
outro?
Sure. The Kickstarter boys it up. So yeah, you can find it. Oh my gosh, we have such a nice short link that I don't remember what it is.
ttrpg.link/hinterlight. It is quick and easy to get there. We're so close. We're so close. We just hit like 89% tonight on our goal. So we're really hoping to hit some of the stretch goals because we have some cool people that have offered their time to do some extra content if we hit those stretch goals, and we're hoping to do things like the soundtrack and obviously for Robbie to have the time to finish out these digital tools because there's some really cool promising stuff with like the way that you can digitally cut stuff out to build a map in Figma is what we're working on right now. And
Yeah. Love Figma.
so we are very excited, and every little bit helps. For
Yeah.
sure.
And this weekend, all of us are going to be at the Game Face Holiday Market in Baltimore. And we have a bunch of fun goodies lined up if people back the Kickstarter during the holiday market. But one that I'm selfishly really excited and want to plug is I made a cake. And if you back the Kickstarter this weekend, I'll give you a piece of the cake I made.
What? Yeah. So I have to
Really
back it again, is what? So what I have to do? Just say like my cat backed it or something.
Sorry,
But
if you show me that you backed it, I will give you a piece of cake.
it's all right. I have like 5 Kickstarter accounts. I'll just use one of those. No, I don't have. I have 2. But yeah.
Kickstarter's listening. That was a joke.
What? I don't back my own accounts. That's crazy.
Yeah.
Do that. No, I don't. That wasn't a joke. I just made it sound like sarcasm. But yeah, great. Thanks so much for hopping on this talk and for running through a game. This was a lot of fun. I hope you all had a good time.
Thank you so much for having us. It was a delight.
Yes. And thanks everybody for watching and tuning in from the future if you decide to watch the recordings and stuff. But we'll see y'all later. Bye.